What is a good weakness to mention on a job interview? When I was graduating college, I got interview tips from my dad, who was heavily involved in the hiring process at his company for his department. His advice on this one, which I've used ever since and has gone great, was: the whole, say a weakness that's actually a positive, has been done to death and is such common knowledge that it's no longer a clever trick and is now seen as avoiding the question. People want to see some self-awareness. Obviously don't bring something absolutely terrible up, but mention a real flaw and most importantly what you've done to address or work with it. For example, the one I tend to use is that I can be forgetful, so I now keep multiple sets of calendars, reminders, notes, etc. to cover as much as possible. As a professional recruiter, I rarely ask this question. But if I do, I'll get annoyed by canned answers like "I'm a perfectionist" or "workaholic." Why? Because it's a self-serving stock answer that leads me to distrust the rest of the answers I'm getting. I'd rather hear something genuine that actually tells me something about that person. Something like, "My workspace tends to get messy, so I really have to focus on keeping an organized workspace. It helps me to prioritize." Or, "Prioritizing can be a challenge for me, so I have to pay particular attention to that, like making a list in the morning or asking my boss what her most important items are for the day." I once got a job partly because of my honest answer to this: I need to know why I am doing what I'm doing. I don't like being told to do something without an endgame in mind, without knowing the reasoning behind it. When I work, I need something to aim at. Some employers don't like this because they like their employees to be cogs in a machine they control. I don't like those jobs and I don't want them. The place I was applying to was not that kind of workplace, and they liked my answer. Ended up being a great job where my boss valued my input and trusted me to take the reins on a variety of tasks. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the gold and silver. RIP my inbox. Figure out a skill that's not required for the job you are applying for, but is required for the job 2 promotions above that job. Then say it's your big weakness, but that also you are looking to learn and develop that skill from people who are strong at it. And #X200B. Alternatively, if you're far enough along in your career that you have had several promotions and have reports/people to delegate to, you can say you were never as good as other people at /skill someone below your job level must do /, but that's why you've learned to delegate it. In my most recent interview, got the job, I answered, "I don't like to stay late. I'll come in half an hour early at the drop of a hat, but if you tell me I'm off at 4 and then work conspires to try to keep me longer, I will not be staying. Work stops at 4, period." Depending on the job and culture, this can break your chances of getting the job, but pretty much anyone can sympathize with not wanting to stay later, and it doesn't come off as one of those smartass "I'm a perfectionist" answers. It also tells them that you probably won't be racking up that expensive overtime. If you are a shy, quiet person like myself, mention it. I let them know up front that I am a naturally quiet person, especially around new people, and it sometimes comes off the wrong way. People tend to think I am in a bad mood, or have a rude personality, or just don't like them. Then when they get to know me they do a 180. So I let them know from the beginning that I am quiet, but it doesn't mean I'm in a bad mood or don't like them or anything. I just don't talk much until I get to know people. An actual weakness you do have. And stop with the "I'm perfectionists, I'm too helpful," and all that jazz. No one believe it anymore, you're not fooling anyone, and some might think you're taking them for stupid people. Not a great thing to convey. And #X200B. Also, usually, you have 2 weeks of probation period. They will see your actual weaknesses during that time. If you weren't honest during your interview, that won't help building trust between you and management. Not a good thing. And #X200B. So talk about an actual weakness you have, and what you're doing to improve on it. And it has to be something related to the job you're seeking. Am I the only one who thinks this is an unreasonable, unfair, asshole question to ask in a job interview? You're supposed to sell yourself and put your best foot forward, often for the first impression, and someone is asking you to criticize yourself in some meaningful way where you balance on a knife edge between spoiling your chances and, wow, what a cop-out, they must be dishonest. God forbid I actually name a character flaw I have and they ask how I mitigate it. It wouldn't be a character flaw I still have if I hadn't already fully figured that out. So thanks, asshole.